Good afternoon. I'm here today to talk about Hexagram, a concert I went to more recently which featured the Ludi Electric Guitar Quartet. The Ludi Electric Guitar Quartet is the brainchild of Adrian Lee, who essentially wishes to forward electric guitar playing and its repertoire, and generally just introduce it more into the modern art music world. And I definitely feel that this concert was a step in the right direction. Really interesting program, great performances, just a very comfortable setting. Adrian Lee really shines as leader to this group. He discussed the pieces and just had a very friendly manner about him. Really just genuinely absorbing guy. The concert's named Hexagram after his favourite Joni Mitchell song, actually, apparently. A particular lyric, which is, "It was the hexagram of the heavens, the strings of my guitar." This really set the scene well, because it's obviously a labour of love for Adrian Lee, and you can see that then in the playing. So the first piece was Trails, written by Adrian himself, and it was a duet for two guitars, and it consisted of three movements. I can't for the life of me remember the name of the three different movements, but they were good. I'm going to be honest, they weren't the best thing in the programme. They were what they were. They were pieces for two guitars. Slightly interesting harmony-wise, just, followed the kind of standard route with a little bit of, every so often it would throw an odd metered time signature, and not the good. But do you know what? Actually, I'm being far too critical. Actually, to be honest, they did what they did exceptionally well. It just wasn't necessarily in my tastes. They sounded good. They were attractive to listen to, and a good opener, a good way to ease people into the just unadulterated, unaccompanied electric guitar, clean electric guitar. Yeah, it served a purpose, and it did so well. The next piece on the program, however, just caught my imagination a bit more. Called Four Primary Colours, written by a composer named Will Gregory, who is most well known for his work with Goldfrapp. This was a piece for solo guitar and two audio tape players, and essentially it consisted of single notes played by Adrian, which were then manipulated by a pitch shifter pedal to create a big compass of sound, but then these audio tape players would play those notes back, but he would have already moved on, and it just created this cacophony of jumping legato, kind of like glissandy guitars just all coming together, and it really just created a beautiful landscape, a beautiful musical world soundscape, and it really worked, and it just invited you into this place, got comfortable, really enjoyed the aesthetic, and then it just moved away, and allowed the tape players to essentially just die out, and it's just a very good, successful piece. It was. Next piece then is Drive, again by Adrian Lee, and this is the first time the quartet come onto the stage and play as a quartet, and this was I've heard solo electric guitar, it's good. The quartet, however, just had a different feel to it altogether, and was just a completely different beast, and better for it, I felt. It was a highly overdriven piece, Drive, and relied heavily on swell pedals, so just a lot of crescendi and diminuendo moving in and out to the players individually, just to create one large mass of sound, and it worked very well. The harmony was interesting, the layers of the players, I didn't mean to rhyme, I apologise, but just worked really well. Next piece in the program then was by Guillaume de Montchort, and where everyone else was still alive, everyone who's been programmed so far is a living, working composer. It was quite intriguing to have a Baroque, Renaissance or Baroque composer. I can't remember the details of this particular composer now, but they performed as Hocketus David, and it was essentially hocketing. So, one of the guitars played Cantus Firmus, and the other two then hocketed ideas to and fro, harmonising with it. And to be honest, it didn't sound too far away from the original. You know, the guitar isn't too far removed from the harpsichord in that world, or the lute, and it sounded really comfortable, and it sounded like as it was. That doesn't really make that much sense, but it sounded very much comfortable in that zone. It didn't really make me think of anything else other than Renaissance, Baroque counterpoint, and which it was, and it did so well, and they performed it excellently. But again, it didn't excite me, didn't set my soul on fire. Unlike the next piece, which was a guitar quartet arrangement of Phil Glass's String Quartet Number 3, subtitled Mishima. And this really worked. This created sounds and combinations of guitar that I just not heard before, and was just a great reimagining of the string guitar, of the string quartet of the String Quartet Number 3. It did it justice as a piece. But the guitar quartet then, it didn't sound like a guitar quartet playing string quartet music. It really did feel as if it was a piece that could have been written for them originally, which really helped. And just rather than just seeming as if they were a covers band, it was an original work in itself. And some of the colours were lovely, and that for me was the best example of how a guitar quartet might sound in the future, how you might want to forward that ensemble, that medium, and just very well done, performed beautifully, a big varied range of dynamics, which is always the fear with electric instruments, well, maybe not electric instruments, but possibly electric guitars and electric basses, but no, they succeeded very well. It was a very accomplished performance. And that was the last piece of the first half. The second half then consisted of one piece and one piece only, and that was the guitar quartet, the Ludi Electric Guitar Quartet, and a mandolin player performing Terry Riley's In C. Now, I've not seen Terry Riley's In C. I've heard it, I've listened to it, but I hadn't ever seen a performance of it. And I can't recommend it highly enough. The difference between listening to that phenomenal seminal minimalist piece on YouTube or on CD, it's just, it doesn't come close to capturing the excitement of seeing it live, the tranquility, the excitement, tranquility and excitement, they're two good contradictory terms there, but but it was just a beautiful piece, but the excitement came from just enjoying. It wasn't a piece that it has big political undertones and has this groundbreaking kind of concept to it for the time, but it is just a piece that it's not a piece that needs to be cerebral. It is a piece that you can literally just sit and enjoy, and with an audience, it feels as if you're all part of the same event. It feels like a genuine event rather than just a piece of music that's happening. And the ensemble, they did an exceptional job. They were true to the performance, and they just did it very well, very well. The highlight of the concert, really. That and possibly Drive. Drive had some really nice colours. It was nice to see. That was the only time it was overdriven, and that's when I felt it was a very good use of the overdrive, and that was a sound that was new. You won't get that in a string quartet. Whereas lots of people would question, why wouldn't you just write for string quartet? But the guitar quartet just has a character of its own, and I think this concert really took a step forward in making that concrete. If you get a chance to see the Ludi Electric Guitar Quartet, I sincerely recommend you do. Great performances, great program, also just very approachable people. So if you fancy a chat afterwards, just go say hello. Yeah. Anyway, I'm off. Thank you for watching. No, thank you for making fun of me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And I'll be posting another one of these up sooner. Bye.